Good afternoon, guys. It is Monday 20th. My name is Luke. I just started this channel just to kind of document my trades from now on. Um, so on this channel, mostly the main thing that will be posted will be daily trade recaps. I can also do market analysis every pre-market. I can also do any ICT, kind of my strategy, how it works, how it will play out, probabilities, how to find A plus entries, and also covering over any ICT concepts you guys have any questions on. I'll try to respond to every comment I can. I'm pretty sure I will. Um, so anyways, going on over today, this is how I made around $1,254.50 in about 12 minutes this morning trading the nasdaq on a funded account. Gladly I was able to pass after about a week of choppy price action. As you guys may know, we are in a very choppy kind of consolidation right now, especially on the higher time frame, which can lead negatively to anything leading on. So we're going to start now on kind of Forex Factory to see the news. The news, if you guys don't already know, kind of contributes to the overall market analysis and how we see the market every single day as a day trader. So this week we can see that we have no financial news affecting the financial markets. So that could be a good thing and it can also be a bad thing. So the strategy that I'm using, ICT, which I get to kind of understand everything that's happening in the market, and it's a very comfortable strategy. Um, what this means for me is that the market isn't going to be very volatile. So that means that entries and kind of stuff you would expect to happen on a normal daily basis with like manipulation of any sort of high and low and distribution back to another level, it's a very low chance. It's not zero, but it's not as probable as it would be on a normal Tuesday morning with like this 9 a.m. news with the orange fold. Definitely a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna start off on kind of the daily buys, get an overall trend of what's moving on. So, and just you guys can take notes about. I also have notes up here that I look over to find my A plus setup every day, and you guys can also kind of take notes from this video to figure out how you guys like to find out your daily buys. So, I can determine on the daily time frame that we are kind of in a distribution range from this consolidation right here. We hit this low, which is a very important thing to kind of take on. So we hit this low, and we didn't just displace through that low. We were obviously hitting it. We rejected it with a very bullish wick, and now we're flipping sides. We have a daily candle, daily bullish candle that is telling us, okay, we hit that low, and it's obviously not just a random low because we are having a reaction out of it. If we go on the 4 hour, moving on from the daily time frame, we can determine that, okay, pre-market, we are inside this 4 hour fair value gap and we are respecting it, which means, okay, we probably have most likely the chance to go bearish. And to support that theory, we are inside this bearish fair value gap. I'm sorry, we're inside this bearish fair value gap and we're respecting it. We're wicking and we're distributing lower. We also have this high on the 4 hour time frame that gets hit by ES and NQ. As you can see, they're both correlated and they both get hit. On the hourly time frame, we can go down and we can notice, okay, there are a bunch of low resistant lows sitting right here in the market. And what does the market like to do, especially NASDAQ? Not so much ES, NASDAQ. They like to take these low resistant lows and they like to use them as kind of orders and liquidity to move the market in a certain direction. Now, taking that in, this is the higher time frame. If we go on something like the 3 minute or the 1 minute or 2 minute, we can notice that the same thing is happening on the lower time frame. We can see that like, okay, we're in a kind of a consolidation phase on the 1 minute. Does that mean that we have to come sweep these? No. Is it a very high chance that we come sweep these to move the market? Yes, 100%. So we can see that we're in kind of a chopping range right here. We're undecisive of where we want to go. We don't want to go up yet. We don't want to go down yet. 9:30 or 8:30 for me, because I'm in Central Time, kind of determines the overall narrative of where it's going to go. So what I like to do is I like to make two scenarios about how the daily might play out. So my first scenario today was we will get a manipulation of these lows market open. We will find a inverted fair value gap and we could either take a long up to these highs, or another thing we can do is we can wait till this fair value gap gets respected. We take a continuation short down to something like these lows down here, which could play out just as well as this. And then my other narrative for what could happen is we chop around, we have kind of a consolidation zone, we manipulate this into these highs, we get a fair value gap inverse, highest time frame, that distributes us to taking out all these buy orders down here to fill our buy stop. Now, if we can go kind of play out market open, 8:30, we can see that, okay, 8:30 opens, we immediately go take out these highs. That's one of our scenarios that we wanted to see play out. Okay, now we can take in we took out these highs, now we want to see what? A reversal. This yellow line marks out a 30-minute fair value gap. This is a daily fair value gap. So if we do get a reversal here, the probability isn't A+, since we have a higher time frame fair value gap resting above us, but it's not a very bad trade because we have so much orders down here that are very likely to get filled, and it's a higher probability. So on the 1 minute, we can see consolidation. We manipulate up into these highs. Our first real selling program happens about right here. This time frame is about 8:39. We get a big wick off this 30-minute gap, and we start rejecting lower. The only reason I didn't take this is because it doesn't follow my model. My model runs off either a fair value gap or a liquidity pool or level, and it rejects taking out the highest time frame fair value gap in that level. As you can see, even on the 30-second, there is no fair value gap that we inversed on this level, which tells me, okay, that's not valid for my entry. I can sit on my hands and wait. If we wait a little bit longer, we get a resweep of this high. First off, that is a very good sign that we are going to move lower, especially distributing down to those on low resistant lows down here. We get a resweep of that high. Okay, if we go on the 2-minute time frame, we can see, alright, there's a perfect fair value gap resting right there. My model relies on inversing the highest time frame fair value gap in order to go down and take out slow resistance orders. On the 2-minute, what do we get? We get a flip in direction, and we get an immediately bearish reaction off of hitting this 30-minute and intermediate high, and ES does the exact same thing. We tap into a 30-minute, we are rejecting off this high, and we are supporting our bearish narrative bias going into the day. I enter a short position here. I don't enter off this big candle closure, because what do you see? The stop loss that I have currently would be 40 points, which is not terrible, but it's not good also. So I like to move it up kind of next to this body closure that happened before I put my stop loss around kind of the candle closure of that highest point made, and I get filled around right here. It fills me and immediately dumps. Also, something to take in is we are inside this 5-minute fair value gap. With my model, what you want to target is 5 and 15-minute fair value gaps and hold runners. Since we are already so close to this, I'm not going to TP. I mean, it would be smart to TP really quickly, taking in those profits, but knowing that, okay, we hit this 5-minute, now we are safe to go break even. So I'm now break even in this trade, and there's no risk on the table, and I'm chilling. It's break even trade. So now I expect this to flush down to these low resistant lows, and as you can see, the 12th minute, it flushes down, hitting all those low resistance lows, making this an A- setup in my hands, I can say. The only reason this wouldn't play out is, of course, if we didn't distribute off this fair value gap, we hit some gap here, and we respected it and moved up to this daily, that short would have been kind of almost not really high probability to go hit all these low resistant lows, but I'm glad that we got kind of a clean inverse and got break even fast, knowing that we're going to risk free trade. That's kind of the daily trade reset recap for today. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll go over them and read them. Thank you.